would show up on a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative. Sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in.
Here's the thing, Blake.
Did Blake Lively just confirm everything Justin Baldoni has been saying all along? In a shocking revelation, in a 2022 video at the Forbes Power Women Summit, Lively openly detailed how she subtly asserts control over projects where she was only hired as an actress. Was this an innocent confession about her passion for storytelling, or did she just admit to manipulating her coworkers and seizing control from directors and producers? As Baldoni fights to prove his claims in court, could this interview clip be the key to validating his case? And more importantly, how will Hollywood react now that one of its biggest stars has seemingly exposed her own behind-the-scenes influence? Stay tuned as we dissect her words, analyze their impact, and uncover what this means for the lawsuit and her career.
She said, he came in my trailer while I was breastfeeding. Well, then he produced the text messages showing her saying, I'm breastfeeding, come on over.
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively co-starred in It Ends With Us, a film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. But behind the scenes, tensions quickly escalated. Lively initially filed a complaint against Baldoni, alleging inappropriate behavior on set, including unsolicited discussions about making love and violations of established protocols during intimate scenes. She claimed that when she attempted to raise concerns about these issues, Baldoni and his team retaliated by launching a smear campaign against her, using media manipulation and digital strategies to tarnish her public image. Baldoni, however, vehemently denied these allegations and countersued, alleging that Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her PR team conspired to defame him.
She wants us to believe this is actionable harassment, saying this is all retaliatory. All of his leaks to the media are retaliatory, and asking the court to shut him and Brian Friedman up, saying this must be shut down because they're trying to try this case in the media. The only reason this whole thing got started is because she clearly cooperated with the New York Times to leak the whole thing.
He argued that Lively weaponized false allegations in an attempt to seize creative control over the film, systematically pushing him out.
Who I am is somebody who is always trying to be radically sincere and authentic to myself so that I can be of service in the best way possible and have the most impact. And sometimes I can get lost.
Additionally, he claimed that Reynolds actively worked behind the scenes to pressure Baldoni's talent agency into dropping him, further damaging his career. As the conflict intensified, Baldoni also took legal action against the New York Times, alleging that the publication colluded with Lively to craft a damaging narrative against him. He specifically pointed to an article titled, "We Can Bury Anyone," inside a Hollywood smear machine, which he claims was not only one-sided, but filled with misleading and false information aimed at discrediting him. Just days before a critical court hearing, Baldoni's legal team launched a website, thelawsuitinfo.com, which contains hundreds of pages of text messages, emails, and alleged evidence supporting his claims. One of the biggest bombshells? A series of friendly text exchanges between Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds before the lawsuit erupted. In one message, Reynolds praised Baldoni, calling him a wonderful collaborator and expressing excitement for his work with Lively. Baldoni argues that these messages contradict the narrative that he was ever inappropriate or manipulative on set. But things didn't stop there. Baldoni alleges that Reynolds later turned against him, calling him a deranged predator and even pressuring his talent agency to drop him. If true, this could be a major blow to Reynolds' public image. Perhaps one of the most bizarre and unexpected claims in this lawsuit is that Deadpool and Wolverine deliberately mocked Justin Baldoni in a subtle yet cutting way. Baldoni alleges that the character Nice Pool, portrayed by Reynolds in the film, was a thinly veiled parody of him, mocking his public persona, particularly his advocacy for feminist issues. According to Baldoni, the character's mannerisms, dialogue, and exaggerated woke behavior were an intentional jab at his personal controversies and professional reputation.
There's no question it relates to Justin. I mean, anybody that can watch that hair bun, the comment about the pregnancy, I mean, it's pretty obvious what's being done.
The fact that Blake Lively herself voiced another character in the film who ultimately kills Nicepool was, in Baldoni's view, no coincidence, but rather a direct public humiliation. Adding further weight to his claims, Baldoni's lawsuit points to the film's credits, where Blake Lively publicly thanked Gordon Reynolds, a fake name used by Ryan Reynolds for his Nicepool credit, suggesting an inside joke meant to ridicule him. Baldoni argues that this was part of a broader campaign by Lively and Reynolds to damage his career and credibility. To bolster his claims, Baldoni's legal team has also pointed out striking similarities between Nicepool's dialogue and statements he has made publicly or in interviews. Furthermore, they claim that references in the movie mirror real-life exchanges and disputes between Baldoni and the couple, making the alleged parody even more apparent. The controversy has sparked debates among fans and industry insiders, with some believing Baldoni is reading too much into it, while others argue that Hollywood has a history of using pop culture as a means to settle personal scores. The first court hearing in this high-stakes case recently took place in New York, setting the stage for what promises to be a dramatic and closely watched legal battle. Lively's legal team argued for a protective order to prevent Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, from making public statements that could influence public perception and potentially bias a future jury. The judge, however, did not grant the request outright, but issued a strong warning to both sides, emphasizing that any attempts to litigate the case in the media could have consequences. The hearing also addressed key pretrial motions, including discussions about the admissibility of evidence, the timeline for discovery, and whether certain documents, such as the extensive text messages and emails released on Baldoni's website, should be considered in court. Both legal teams presented contrasting narratives, with Lively's team portraying Baldoni's actions as an effort to manipulate public sentiment, while Baldoni's camp argued that they were merely defending against an already orchestrated media attack. As this case heads toward a trial in March 2026, it is playing out not just in the courtroom, but also in the court of public opinion. Hollywood seems to be rallying behind Lively, with many A-listers voicing their support. On the other hand, social media polls and online discussions show overwhelming support for Baldoni, with many believing he is being unfairly targeted. The division between these two audiences reflects the complexity of the case and the high stakes involved. Who will emerge victorious? That remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: this legal battle is far from over. So what happens next? Both sides are now in the process of gathering and preparing their full evidence for trial, a process that will involve extensive depositions, document reviews, and witness testimonies. If this lawsuit proceeds to trial, it could become one of the most closely watched Hollywood legal battles since Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, drawing massive public and media scrutiny. Baldoni's legal team is expected to present a strong defense, arguing that he has been the target of an orchestrated smear campaign designed to push him out of the industry. His attorneys will likely rely on a combination of text messages, emails, industry testimony, and character references to establish his claims of defamation, extortion, and career sabotage. Additionally, they may introduce forensic digital evidence to counter the allegations of harassment and misconduct, as well as expert witnesses to assess the nature of the claims against him. On the other hand, Lively and her legal team will need to substantiate her allegations of harassment, manipulation, and workplace misconduct. They may call upon witnesses from the film's production team, internal documents, and legal experts to prove that Baldoni's actions created a hostile working environment. Furthermore, they are expected to introduce records of conversations, meeting notes, and behind-the-scenes footage to build their case. The impact of this lawsuit will extend far beyond the courtroom. Both parties have suffered reputational damage, with Hollywood divided over whom to support. Some industry insiders speculate that major studios may distance themselves from both Lively and Baldoni until the case is resolved. Meanwhile, fan reactions remain polarized, with some firmly standing by Lively's claims of workplace misconduct, while others believe Baldoni is being unfairly targeted. As the trial date in March 2026 approaches, pretrial hearings and motions will continue to shape the scope of the case. court decisions regarding what evidence will be admissible and whether any protective orders will be placed on public statements could have significant implications. One thing is certain, this case is poised to have a lasting impact on Hollywood, media ethics, and the conversation around power dynamics in the entertainment industry. What do you think? Is Justin Baldoni the victim of a coordinated smear campaign, or is Blake Lively courageously standing up for herself in the face of workplace misconduct? Do the released text messages and behind-the-scenes footage support Baldoni's claims, or do they reinforce Lively's accusations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this case will reach trial, or will it be settled behind closed doors? And who do you think Hollywood will ultimately side with as more details emerge? Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this unfolding legal drama and other breaking entertainment stories. Until next time, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep the conversation going.